Hello, everyone. We just came back from Angry Birds Movie 2, Electric Boogaloo,
Woo.
and we got these fancy new headsets, so they'll help out with the character animator.
Woo, lip sync. So you won't be hearing Victor while I'm moving my lips.
Yep.
So yeah.
So what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was great. But what about you?
I thought it was alright.
Oh, come on. I thought it was at least better than Angry Birds 1.
But before we talk about that, there was a short in front of the... There was surprisingly a short in front of the movie that I didn't expect.
Called Love Hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very surprising. Just, I don't know. Has Sony Animation ever done this for a movie? Where they have a short in the beginning?
Not for what I've seen.
Nothing.
From, like, the Sony animated films I've seen.
Right.
Which are, like, 2.
Not only that, by the way that we were watching, it seemed like all the way at the end there was so many Kickstarter
Yeah, this was a
people.
Kickstarted animation.
Yeah, so was it even Sony animated, or was it
Like, maybe the Kickstarter was to bring it to Sony.
Yeah, I remember this. There was a studio logo called like Lionheart or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
But surprisingly, I thought it was a really well done short, all in 2D.
Yeah, no spoilers or anything. It's just very wholesome and great.
Yeah.
It's hard to find it's hard to find animated shorts that are not made by Pixar that have no what is it?
Speaking.
No speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, it was primarily silent. All the characters were silent.
It's always better when
And I would
there's no
say
one
that-
talking.
And I would say it was the most, like, heartfelt moment that I felt throughout the entire theater experience.
Yeah, that's true. Angry Birds isn't really for heartfelt
Yeah.
stuff.
That short gave me the feels, you.
Many feels. But yeah.
Honey Nut Felios.
Honey Nut Felios.
That was another joke that I stole from Rebel Taxi.
Because he inspired Snackvic to be on YouTube.
I guess.
But yeah, so
So let's talk about the film.
definitely.
I guess mild spoiler warnings. If you've seen any movie ever, you know what's gonna happen at some points. Hey hun, did you know that the characters, one male, one female, that don't get along at the beginning, end up a couple at the end? Isn't that a crazy revelation that happened throughout the film?
First they hate each other, now all of a sudden they love each other. Oh, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Of course not. You're a robot.
It seems like a complicated relationship. It doesn't even seem like real love, and especially since there's the third wheel, JW.
I don't know. We've seen this sort of, like, love thing every single time. Where it's like, oh, they hate each other at the beginning, but then they fall in love. How wacky.
Honestly, I see no chemistry other than them to really force it. To be fairly honest, it just feels really forced.
I guess for the movie itself, this time around, new villain, third island. And this time,
It's Eagles.
yeah, Eagles. The movie itself just felt very, like, the plot felt very loose, and the movie went by at, like, a really quick pace.
Yeah, the thing about, like, I say they do it to their merit, where, what is it, that the whole movie does so much better with it being loose, so it can have much more funny, wacky, and zany, in-the-moment humor than to focus on the actual story. It's sort of like Super Mario, where you love the experience, but the story is so simplistic. If you told somebody that never played Super Mario that, like, the game's amazing, but the story is just save the princess, then it's like, oh, that sounds basic.
Yeah, they did so they can be a bit more choppier and just make room for a lot more jokes, which were alright for me. Nothing really got me howling in laughter.
Right.
Also, I noticed that they used a lot of copywritten songs.
Yeah.
I actually kind of didn't like it because, like, you couldn't go a few minutes without hearing like a familiar song.
I don't know how the song goes. I've never actually listened to that.
Well, you did in the movie.
Not the full thing though. It was like some Baby Shark thing. That was it called?
That's it, Baby Shark.
Yeah, they had Baby Shark in it.
I mean, the first time I heard that tune was in like those Johnny videos.
Yeah, I would say that the humor though was actually like it made me laugh out loud sometimes, a couple of times, which is more than a lot of common day like animations can really say for themselves, in my opinion.
I don't want to go back to like what we were talking about before, but I just felt like the overabundance of like copywritten songs felt like I was watching like a TikTok compilation, and it just sort of
feels like
less life. It sort of gave it less originality.
Remember when The Simpsons had TikTok in it?
They did.
Remember the TikTok intro where it was a full...
Oh, I'm talking about like TikTok.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
Because, you know, that's the whole app that's like, oh, let's lip sync over popular music. This is a appropriate replacement to Vine.
I honestly thought that died. But yeah, anyways, I thought the humor was really good. It was wacky, zany, and just didn't go against the story since it was so loose.
Yeah.
So if you're in it for the story, then I'm sorry. Why did you go see this movie? Like, it's full of cartoon humor.
It honestly felt like a bare bones plot that you would actually see in a video game, which is appropriate because this is a video game movie.
Yeah, that, and also animations, like in their purest form, should only have very loose plots.
I don't know.
Like a Charlie Chaplin film. But yeah.
It usually depends. I don't mind when animation decides to go really heavy on the story.
Yeah, like the short in the beginning.
Yeah, I guess that did have a more compelling storyline than actual Angry Birds 2.
It's like how in Up the first 5 minutes are more emotional than anything else in the whole movie.
I guess to get back in Angry Birds. I think overall the experience was nice. The animation was done really well.
The animation is done by the same people who do Hotel Transylvania, which is Sony Animation, and obviously they had the same director. I didn't even have to look that up by the way it was done.
The animation has a lot of it feels like a 2D animation, like given 3D life.
Yeah, the way they animate it is
like they animate it in 2D first and then translate it into 3D.
Right, like if you actually look at the behind the scenes bloopers, like you think 2D animation is dead? Hell no, not in Sony Animation at least, because like legit you'll see like line art fully like at 24 frames every frame inked, and then they just put the 3D right over it and make sure it's frame by frame perfect.
Well, they do that with a lot of CG movies. I'm just saying for the style of this one, it really felt like the characters were designed in 2D first, then given in 3D.
Which is a lot better for anthropomorphized cartoons.
I guess what you noticed, I noticed in the movie as well, is that like whenever you're looking at a character front facing, their beaks are always sort of like
to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that we talked about earlier, where like that's not something that you see normally in any 3D movie. Like, that is a very neat little detail that specifically Sony Animation does, where if, like, most prominently the Angry Birds movie, if the beak is there, it doesn't go forward. If they're looking straight at you, the beak is either to the left or the right.
Well, just to make it look a bit more appealing.
Yeah.
And just to be a bit more freeform with design. Also unrelated, there's an uncomfortably long inflation scene.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was.
You voided it out of your mind. You blanked at it.
Well,
And I just tore open memories that you didn't want to.
yeah, this movie also obviously has some, like, hidden, like, softcore fetish in there. Like, obviously, inflation, spandex? Spandex a thing?
Probably.
Yeah, etc.
I guess, did you want to go heavy spoilers? Put a little
Pizzazz.
warning.
Nah, I mean, we're at the 10-minute mark. We should just end it off here. Since we're gonna go into spoilers, let's just end it off with, like, our rating of 0 to 10.
Mighty Eagle was the the villain was Mighty
No,
Eagle's
no, no, no,
fiancé.
no, 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 no.
I said point of the warning, we're going to talk about it.
Alright, fine, we'll put it in the morning. But yep, so...
I mean, there was some spoilers, like, obviously Red and Silver got together, and, like, Mighty Eagle and the villain end up getting married, even though she was like, I don't need you anymore, you're stupid, fuck you. Then it cuts to them getting married. Also, Mighty Eagle has a kid that ends up being, like, the villain's assistant, who she doesn't treat like any sort of daughter until, like, the last 5 minutes, and then she's like, oh no, my daughter.
You spoiled pretty much the whole story, except for Red with Silver. Like, on their development.
Yeah, I guess. Red has a whole insecurity complex, or whatever, because he's afraid that everyone liking him is temporary. So he's just going full baby mode and being like, I want to save the day. Me and just me. So I can get the recognition I deserve.
So there you go, all the spoils. That's pretty much the whole story. The rest is, like, just trying to save the islands from icy destruction.
So yeah, what would you rate this movie?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. As far as animated movie goes. Because it's something that I'll definitely buy as a Blu-ray.
I guess for me, the humor was hit or miss. Nothing really caught my attention. I feel like all the songs were just kind of overkill. Visually, it looked pretty nice. So I give this movie a broken marriage out of 10.
Cool.
Alright, good night everybody, or good morning, who gives a shit. Bye.
Aloha.